Morris is able to live his life by his desire rather than by the should be done. Most people get up in the morning, what should I do? Morris asks, what do I want to do? And he goes and he will always trade want for should.
He used to come to work by horse.
הבן אדם, בגילו ובמעמדו, כמעט נפח את משפטו פה בג'ינקה.
To go into a reef tank and be there with the sharks is really a beautiful experience, and I can recommend it to everybody.
He's as curious as a little child.
I would describe him as a Renaissance man, the ultimate Renaissance man.
A man that's willing to help his fellow man and spend money and time and effort to do things that help his fellow man. He's really remarkable that way.
He is really motivated, I would say primarily motivated, by the fact that he is helping to develop the Israeli economy.
All experts are experts for things that did happen. There are no experts for things that may happen. Morris is an expert for things that may happen.
I'm not always entirely logical in what I do and how I actually do it.
Morris Kahn was born in 1930 in South Africa to Beatty and Philip Kahn into a lower middle-class family. Despite hardships, he had a happy childhood. His worldview was shaped by the values he was raised with.
Uncle Joey, they were very principled people, and he always made sure that we did a good deed every day.
And whenever I met him, he would ask me, what good deed have you done today? And I found that it was very useful. I had to actually do a good deed because I never knew when I would see him. And it really became a habit.
At university, Morris joined the Communist Party, which was illegal at the time.
Actually, most of my friends were actually arrested. And as a matter of fact, one of the people who was in the same cell that I was in, Joe Slovo, was one of the people who I think saved South Africa.
He stood up against discrimination, fighting violence against blacks.
אין ספק שמוריס הוא אדם שרודף צדק, ובכל מקום שיש מלחמה על צדק, מוריס היה רוצה להיות.
I felt it was an immoral society that I lived in. But more important, I didn't feel at one with my peer group who accepted this discrimination, accepted this domination. I found it unacceptable.
In 1956, when he realized he couldn't accept the way of life in South Africa, Morris fulfilled his dream of moving to Israel with his wife Jackie and his two sons, David and Benji.
The food was different, language was different, everything was different, but I basically instinctively felt at home.
Despite many challenges, Morris quickly integrated into the local industry. In cooperation with Kibbutz Tzor'ah, Morris founded a bicycle factory in Beit Shemesh to provide employment for the city's new immigrants. He also established the Tzvi factory that produced gloves which were sold at Saks Fifth Avenue in New York, providing employment for women in developing towns. Among many projects in the agricultural sector, Morris founded the Bakar Hahula Ranch, the largest cattle ranch in the Middle East, providing employment for over 1,600 people in the region.
If you look at these things purely through the eye of a grush, maybe they were not successful. But if you look at them for what they did, they were actually successful. And actually they were very satisfying. Very, very satisfying.
The turning point in Morris's business career was when he met Samuel and Tzvi Meital. Their struggle to win the Yellow Pages tender for the U.S. conglomerate ITT made Morris realize the magnitude of governmental corruption in Israel.
מישהו שהיה לו קשר לשר, המכרז הזה הובטח לו.
We began a very quick campaign.
איימנו לפנות לבג"ץ, רצנו למוריס, רץ לשרים.
קיבל על עצמו משימה לגאול את שמה של מדינת ישראל על ידי זה שהוא עצמו, בעזרתו של צבי מיתר, הצליחו להחזיר ל-ITT את הזיכיון להקמת דפי הזהב.
מה שמאפיין את מוריס זה הרפתקנות ותעוזה. כשמוריס רוצה לעשות משהו, הוא לא עוצר.
רוצה להצליח? דפי זהב.
Their struggle bore fruit, and ITT, who won the tender, acknowledged Morris's capabilities and appointed him CEO.
My relationship with Shmuel and the beginning of the Yellow Page operation, those were two very critical, seminal things that happened in my life and would probably direct what I did for the next 35 years.
At the outbreak of the Yom Kippur War, families on the home front were cut off from the combatants. Morris identified with this concern since both his sons fought on the front lines. He recruited his company's infrastructure, snuck into the field, and crossed the Suez Canal as a civilian to collect real-time information for families about their loved ones.
By nightfall, we landed up at the Chapak of Arik and we were sitting around, and all of a sudden, there were two scuds coming across the air.
We just saw this big ball of fire coming out of the desert.
And the whole place opened fire, just like in a movie.
It was like one of these Arab khaflas, you know, with everybody shooting, very excited. You didn't know whether it was going to fall, whether it was going to pass, and a tremendous amount of panic and excitement.
And Morris says to me, you know, Basil, this is the life.
You said, boy, this is the life.
During a holiday, diving near Eilat, his youngest son Benji dove too deep. Morris plunged in after him.
I was afraid that I'd lose him, so I went down and I eventually was able to stop him. But in doing this, I actually burst an eardrum. And for that holiday, I couldn't dive. I realized that a lot of people come down to Eilat, don't dive, don't snorkel, don't see this beautiful aquatic life that there is there. And I felt that there must be some way of them doing it. And then I came up with the concept of an underwater observatory.
This inspired him in 1974 to initiate a complex engineering feat, the construction of the world's first underwater observatory in Eilat. Later, he constructed further observatories worldwide. After the Yom Kippur War, Morris, Samuel, and Zvi bought the Yellow Pages from ITT and greatly expanded their activities. In 1978, they founded the Aurec Group, which created the Golden Channels, Israel's first cable TV company, the Golden Lines for international calls, the Golden Wheels and Tel Rof for outdoor advertising, and many more. The Aurec Group became a major player in the Israeli economy.
אני מכיר את מרבית המשק הישראלי. לא הייתה ולא תהיה קבוצת השקעות כמו אורק.
In 1980, the Yellow Pages developed an advanced software system, which was the basis for the establishment of Amdocs, a global leader in its field that spearheaded the Israeli high-tech industry.
We put money in it, we became partners, and we expanded that partnership a great deal. I mean, this started out as a pretty low-budget deal. It got pretty big over time. It got real big over time.
בלי התרומה של מוריס ושמואל וצבי במסגרת העסקית, יכול להיות שהיום החברה לא הייתה מתרוממת. כמו הרבה חברות טובות אחרות ישראליות.
Morris taught us how to be a partner. Before that, you know, we were the Bell system. We had this attitude, if we wanted to do something, we could do it. We had all the money we need. We had the people, you know. It was our way or the highway. I mean, it took a lot of time and a lot of different change in mentality at AT&T. I don't think Anybody but Morris and Schmal could have done that.
Looking back over my almost 20 years as chairman of AT&T, I would say that Morris and Schmal are the best partners we ever had. And we had a lot of partners, and nobody was in their league. They were the best.
To this day, Morris continues to expand his business initiatives in the fields of high tech, medicine, biotech, and many more.
If you take our history of what we did, or what, in addition to what we tried to do, there were many projects. Sort of, it's not usual for people to be involved in so many, and actually it's still today. We enjoy doing. It's not about the money, and it's not about the glory. These are not things that drive us.
His business success enabled him to divert his resources, time, and energy to contribute to society. Morris's passion for nature and the environment led him in 1999 to create Czlul, an NGO that successfully promotes environmentally sound policies towards Israel's rivers and seas, as well as the Morris Kahn Marine Research Center, leading research and monitoring the ecology and species in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea. Through the movement for quality of government, Morris supports the fight against government corruption in Israel.
We have some wonderful people in this country, and we've got to be careful that these criminals don't really drag us down the drain. And I regard these corrupt politicians as criminals.
With LEAD, a youth leadership development program, he nurtures the next generation of leadership in Israel.
I see in LEAD the opportunity to take young people and give them the feeling that they are important and watch them develop.
Morris travels annually to Ethiopia with a medical delegation, where they established an eye unit that trains local doctors to perform surgeries for remote tribes.
This girl had 2 cataracts in both eyes. She probably has never really seen properly, never. Hardly walks. He's taken out both the cataracts now, and in a day or two she'll be able to see, and then she'll have to learn to actually understand what it is she's seeing. But without this girl's life was actually over.
Since the establishment of this delegation, thousands of people got back their eyesight.
If there is a subject like that, for which money is available and there's no problem in getting it, I'm not there. I go where it's difficult to find money for these particular projects.
דואה היא ילדה בת 6, היא מסוריה. היא הילדה הראשונה מסוריה שניתחנו כאן בוולפסון, ולמרות המידל איסט והמצב הפוליטי, זה כבר פעם שנייה שהיא חוזרת לארץ לטיפול.
Through the Israeli NGO Save a Child's Heart, Morris supports life-saving heart surgeries for children in a variety of developing countries.
When I walk through the wards here and I see the kids, I get a lump in my throat.
In order to effect change in a wide range of fields, Morris is involved and contributes to dozens of research labs.
Well, the genetic research at this university actually was started by Moritz Kahn.
25 מחלות במגזר הבדואי פוענחו.
Nobody else in the world would care to look at those diseases. This is a very marginalized population.
צריך לזכור שחוץ מה-200,000 בדואים שיש כאן, יש עשרות מיליוני בדואים במפרץ הפרסי שיש להם את אותן מוטציות בדיוק.
These diseases will be eradicated forever.
The incredible extent of his activities and involvement in philanthropy, research, and business in Israel and abroad is outstanding.
No one None of my billionaire friends has done for Israel what Maurice Kahn has done for Israel.
He's just a genuinely well-rounded, sort of a really super guy, you know.
It's such a composite life that the guy has on the business side, on the entertainment side, on the sporting side, on the public side, on the charity side, and that's Maury. That's what makes this guy.
And the day passes, and at the end of the day, you sit back and say, what did I do today? And is that really what I want to do? And is that really how I want to spend the rest of my life? And you know something? It's not an easy answer.